Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. Today's installment of my home refresh is going to be remodeling my granddaughter's closet. Removing all of the old organization, which you can see here, works a little bit, but not really that great. So we're going to remove this and install a CLOSETMAID closet.
You came along and showed me how to love without limits.
Of course, the first step is to remove everything from the existing closet. We're just taking it into my room, laying everything out on the bed, and then we're going to organize it later before she puts it back in the closet.
Far away from the city lights, so small under the night sky. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out, even after all of these years. You still look at me with the same love. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out.
Now that we have a nice empty closet, it's time to start the hard work. Here we're discussing the layout because just like with my daughter's closet, I plan to customize a non-customizable closet. We purchased these two CLOSETMAID systems, one for this closet and one for the other closet about 2 years ago. So they've just been sitting in my garage this whole time. Now that we have some free time on our hands, we decided to go ahead and install these closets. I'm looking back at this video, I was missing one of those clothes rod hangers, so I can see here when we unboxed it, there was only two in the box. I thought maybe we lost one, but it looks like it just didn't come with it.
Far away from the city lights, so small.
We plan to reuse these storage bins on the new shelves in her closet, so I'm just measuring and cutting them to the width of the storage bin.
Wear me out, even after all of these years. You still look at me with the same love. It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out.
This is where I messed up last time and had to repurchase the shelves. I want to make sure that I'm cutting them to the right length so that they match up with those front poles that are actually going to hold up the front of the shelves.
Far away from the city lights.
And after measuring multiple times, I'm now cutting the shelves. And even though I measured multiple times, I still cut one of them a ½ inch too short. I have no idea how that happened.
Could never wear me out, even after all of these years.
This old closet is now being taken down and thrown in the trash.
It's just us two, but I don't mind. You could never wear me out. You could never.
What I'm doing now is measuring where the holes are for the poles that go in the front to hold up the front of the shelves. So each shelf has to be in line with each of the holes with the pole. So I'm lining that up so that it matches, and Mariah is just drawing a line across my laser level so that I can quickly drill wherever I want the little brackets that hold the shelves. This is a hole punch to make the holes just a little bit bigger so the anchors go in just a little bit easier. Here's a close-up of what the anchor looks like going in the wall. And once the anchor is installed, it gets a little silver nail, which I guess expands and holds the anchor in place. I guess that's how it works. I don't know. These are the little end caps that go on the edge of the shelves where they were cut, but I'm putting them on both sides. I don't think it really matters, but I'm putting it on both sides just because I had enough of them. But you really only need to put them on the exposed side. So the side on the wall, you don't really need them because you're never going to touch that, but I put them on all the sides. Here I'm showing you where I cut it just a smidge too short, not quite a ½ inch, maybe a quarter of an inch. So it was long enough that that little bracket would hold it in place. And that's the side that actually gets attached to the wall. It holds the front of the shelf on the wall. So I made it work. I just moved the shelf over just a little tiny bit so it wasn't lined up perfectly with the pole. But because it goes behind the pole, you couldn't really even tell.
Where you can't be the victim and come back when you're older. Go catch the storm within your broken bones and be wild, wild, wild.
All the shelving gets attached to the brackets that were drilled into the wall, and once the shelves are installed, there's a side bracket that holds the front of the shelf against the wall, and then the poles hold the shelves that are in the middle of the doorway.
Don't edit me out. How do you turn? Do you want me to stop it?
No, you can. Mariah's acting as my cameraman here, so I had to use my head to brace the shelf while I install the bracket.
And you feel that this is your beginning. Will colors fade, but it's okay. There is good in changes. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place where you can't be the victim and come back when you're older. Go catch the storm within your broken bones and be wild, 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 wild.
I'm using my screwdriver to sort of bang these little brackets into place. They go on the front of the shelf, and then from the front of the shelf it attaches to the poles that hold up the front of the shelf where there's no wall to put a bracket onto. I learned with the first closet I did to vacuum first before I put those poles up, because those poles are in the doorway, and once the poles are installed, it's very difficult to get anything past them into the closet. So you want to make sure that you vacuum or clean the floor first, because you won't be able to do it after.
I better let myself give into love, believe in us no matter what it does to my heart. Not used to this, no, I'm not.
I put on my reading glasses here so I could see these teeny tiny little screws. I know they might not look tiny on camera, but they're actually really tiny, and I'm trying to look behind the pole to put the screw in through the bracket that attaches to the pole. This is is a much better view of what I was trying to do from behind. I can't actually get to where the screw is to screw it in from the front, so I put the camera up here so that I could use the front of the screen to see where I needed to screw the screw in, and it made it much easier for me to see what I was doing because now I could see it in the screen of the camera.
Not prepared. It was like if we were to waste these moments.
That's close enough, right?
You getting into my brain. I feel emotionally drained. You getting into my brain.
This is one of supposed to be 3 closet hanging rods that I'm hanging up now. The box only came with 2, which at the beginning of this video I saw when I unpacked the box there was in fact only 2. So I did have to go to Home Depot and get another one the next day, but for the sake of filming I just moved one to the other side so it looked like the closet was finished.
You're getting into my brain. You're getting into my brain. I feel emotionally drained. You're getting into my brain. You're getting into my brain.
All the shelves are installed, the poles are installed, the closet hanging rods are installed. The very last step is to install the shoe racks. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just screwing the brackets into, or nailing the brackets into the wall and then attaching them, and we're finished.
It's a free fall. Why don't you help me the way I help you? You don't have to save me, just be my parachute. When I'm feeling down, you're just not there, making sure I'm okay. Why don't you help me the way I help you?
Here's a look at the finished closet before she put all of her stuff back in. And here's her closet today with all of her stuff back inside. If you notice at the very top there's an LED light. It's magnetic because she doesn't have an actual light in her closet. So I installed that LED magnetic light and she can just stick that to the bottom of the shelf and have light in her closet. We put all the same stuff right back into her closet, and as you can see here, she still has lots of shelf and storage space, lots more room for all of her clothes. The entire right side of her closet is pretty much empty, so she's got room to expand as well. This was my 5-hour closet install that you got to see in just 14 minutes. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.
Why don't you help